Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing online concierge for the price of this or any watch you see on any platform we own. Reach out to tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing the 2020 evolution of 2019's Audemars Piguet Code 11.59 Chronograph. Still 41 millimeters in precious metal, it has a new gradient gray dial that gives it a stylish flair and a two-tone case that is absolutely raffish and sizzling. A timepiece for the modern man. It is a sporty dress watch. Nevertheless, this is how Audemars Piguet does a dress watch. We'll talk about how it relates to the Royal Oak and what's inside the case. But let's talk about size first. It's 41 millimeters in diameter if you measure the barrel of the center case. If you measure at the edge of the bezel, it's going to be about 41.5. It's fairly thin, though. You wouldn't guess that it's under 13 millimeters thick, but it's 12.9 millimeters thick, with a 50 millimeter lug tip to lug tip span and 22 millimeters between the lugs. On my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference. Like I said, it's a full-figured dress watch, but it has undeniable presence. Better for 2020 with the two-tone case in white gold and rose gold and the smoked anthracite dial. A really good-looking piece, but being broad across the wrist, I recommend you wear it on a wrist no smaller than 15 centimeters circumference. Taking a look at the strap, AP uses a combination of large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top and then a smaller round scale alligator on the bottom. You can see it's a semi-gloss finish with a little bit of a taper, a monotone stitch, a folded edge. And the reason for using gator on both sides, more high-end brands are doing this, is because the strap lasts longer. It's more expensive, but in the scope of a watch this costly, it makes sense. You'll replace the strap less often. Taking a quick look at the buckle, you can see the buckle is white gold, a simple no-nonsense pin buckle with a combination of polish and satin. And you can see it features the AP Maker's Mark. AP now making cases as well as movements, a fully integrated manufacturer. They do it all. The case features a couple of love notes to the Royal Oak. You can see that the inner case in rose gold actually features a rounded octagonal form that's a reference to the Royal Oak bezel, and that the screws fixing the bars to the straps, they're actually hexagonal, a nod to the bolts inside the bezel of the Royal Oak as well as the Royal Oak crown. Now that's important to note. The strap is held on using screws and bars, which is a more secure arrangement than spring bars and something I expect on a large, heavy, and valuable watch. You could see the crown, as well as the pushers, feature a judicious blend of polish and satin. That judicious blend is also featured on the mid-case, which is both polished and satinated for contrast, and it continues on the bezel as well as the individual lugs. You can see that combination of polish and satin for contrast works all the way around to all four corners of the watch. You also appreciate that the lugs are open, airy, arcing, almost like the buttresses of a Gothic cathedral. The watch, when viewed online, looks relatively featureless, but when you start to see just how prismatic and voluptuous it is, how many dips and swells and nuanced crevices and details it really has, it becomes a much more appealing piece. I think this watch was a little bit unfairly judged because its original form was mostly purchased just like this online. You would get a picture of a watch from head on, and then you would just see the flat, colorless dials of the original chrono. This is better. You can see that the dial features a gradient from sort of a silver black at the center to genuinely black at the edge. We have rose gold Audemars Piguet logo, hour indices, hands, and Arabic numeral 12, polished rose gold chapter rings for the sub-registers. Outboard, there is a tall rehaut that borders the dial itself, and it features a tachymeter, making this a relatively sporty dress watch, because a tachymeter would be used to gauge the speed of something moving very fast with a base of 1000. It is a flyback chronograph too. You can reset and restart it, another sporty feature. The dial is lacquered for a bottomless glossy gleam, and then the sub-registers have a matte finish for contrast. They're also sunken into the dial. The watch does feature a combination of hacking or stop seconds, as well as a quick set date, and note the use of a custom typeface. The numerals of the registers as well as the numerals on the date disc are part of a custom typeface scheme created specifically for this model. I particularly like the Hourglass 8. It's handsome, beguiling, and again, it feels special to know that that much attention to detail was invested in your watch. Flip it all over. We have caliber 4401. So this is a good-looking movement that has automatic winding action, a 70-hour power reserve. It's free-sprung with a full balance bridge for shock tolerance as well as precise adjustment. It pivots on 40 joules. It has a column wheel action. You can see the column wheel next to its bridges. There's also a vertical clutch action and you can actually see the edge of the vertical clutch right here. The vertical clutch allows you to leave the chronograph running on a full-time basis if you choose to just have center seconds to match the hours and minutes. Ignore the other registers. You can leave a vertical clutch running full-time. Column wheel action is outstanding. It feels and sounds superb. And as you can see, the vertical clutch always starts without any jump or stagger to the chronograph seconds hand. That's one of the other advantages of a vertical clutch. And this movement beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. All of this 30 meters water resistant. The movement is a combination of hand finish and machine finish, but it's befitting the price and it's handsomely done. You won't be disappointed. And unlike previous chronograph calibers used by AP, this one is neither outsourced nor modular, but fully integrated. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.